What it do, fitters? Do you like butts?
Hell yeah.
While at Lindy Focus over the holidays, I started a series on fundamental movements and started off by going over the squat with people and demonstrating beginner versions of the squat to get good at it. Now, most people think the squat is great for building a good butt, but that's just not the case. So, as I continue this series on, we're going to go into the movement that is very good at it. That's why Now, the hinge is a hip-dominant multi-joint movement that works your posterior chain, or, as I like to call it,
So you bend and snap.
Oh my god, the bend and snap works every time!
Now, the muscles of your posterior chain include your gluteus maximus and hamstring complex in this case, while squats work the muscles of the front, meaning mostly being moved by your quadriceps. While this movement is mostly performed by the bending of the hips, that's what makes this a hip-dominant multi-joint movement, as the knee bend, the movement isn't as pronounced as, say, a squat is. Now that we understand what a hinge movement is fundamentally, here are some beginning exercises to use to get yourself acclimated to this movement and on to bigger, better things. This first exercise we're going to take a look at is the floor bridge. I use this exercise as a glute activation tool to teach clients how to activate their glutes. You're going to lay down, flat on your back, feet flat on the ground, and you're going to push your hips up by pushing through the middle of your feet into the floor, and that's to extend your hips above the ground. You're going to have a straight line from your knees all the way down to your neck, and squeeze your glutes at the top. Now, you get a little bit more advanced with this, you can go to doing this on one leg and alternate between. This next movement is a great starting point for a lot of clients if they already know how to activate their glutes. It is the good morning. All I do is stand and just push my hips back. My feet are going to be hips width apart, toes facing forward. I'm just going to think about pushing my hips backwards, letting my knees slightly bend, getting a good stretch in the hamstrings, and squeezing my glutes on the way up. Typically for hand position, you can have your hands across your chest, or you can have your hands on your head. P.S. Say hi to Morgan. Her Lindy Hop dance team was rehearsing on the other side of the camera. Okay, now that we've got proficient at activating our glutes and hinging on our hips, we're going to do a Romanian deadlift with a medicine ball. You're going to set up with your feet around the medicine ball, squat down to get it. And the motion's just going to be exactly like a good morning. You're going to keep your chest up, push your hips back. Your feet will be hips width apart, toes facing forward. The only difference is you will have the weight to keep between your legs and close to your body to have it in the position most efficient at moving. Now lastly, our last movement is a sumo cable rope pull through. You want to set your cable pulley all the way to the bottom and have a rope attachment. You have your feet outside your shoulders with your feet rotated out. You're going to reach through, grab hold of the handle, and literally pull through by pushing your hips forward, straightening your knees, and getting your chest up and squeezing your glutes at the top. This is a great movement for working your hamstrings and strengthening your glutes to be more proficient at other movements that require a lot of your posterior chain. And here we go from more front angle. Something I haven't been talking much about with these movements is bracing. Definitely want to breathe air into your diaphragm and kind of push out to brace the spine and your abdominals to keep yourself steady in these lifts, in these movements, as well as just keep a good neutral spine and not having your head or your shoulders or anything else going any which way direction. And those are my recommendations for the best ways to introduce someone to hinging movements when it comes to strength training, let me know what you think, and definitely check out my video on squats and any other videos on my channel or on my Patreon page. I just want to thank all my patrons for your continued support. Also, special shout outs to Wolfen Films and Black Retro Gamer for continuing to support me as it goes on. Once again, love is love, Black Lives Matter, gender is a spectrum, and continue to get vaccinated against COVID vaccines and wear your mask. Love y'all. Take care.